Today we are going to Nyanyano Methodist School, and they have a problem there. The children are actually confronted with an issue of lack of toilets. So there are no toilet facilities in the school, and this has actually resulted to open defecation. It's 2026, like I said, and people are still doing their private businesses outside. And this has to do with children. But anyway, we have our reports on that. And let us check out this report by Akwesi Ado, our Central Regional Correspondent. And when we come back, we will have a discussion about this and see the way forward on how to curb issues like this, especially in 2026.
School, one of the most populated schools in the community, has no toilet facility. As a result, pupils, particularly those in kindergarten and the lower primary, have turned the waste transfer station at Kasapa in Nyanyano into an open defecation site. The route to the area is frequently used by speeding motorbikes, exposing the young children to serious safety risks. Although a public toilet facility is located nearby, some people say their parents are unable to afford the 1 Ghana cedi user fee.
Go school Methodist.
Methodist. Ewo Krobeso.
Nyanyano.
Na school ho toilet ho asem saying.
Ojo having a omo basi.
Nti say eba school na toilet de wa aye den.
Yamban wa ase.
Ti ya mo ko he fa na mo ko toilet no. Mo ye wo he.
Ko
Bola no so. Mo oba school a o ma me shada mo sika say toilet de wa na de akọ.
Tadabi.
The absence of a toilet facility on campus also forces teachers and adolescent students to leave the school premises whenever they need to attend to nature's call. Beyond the school, some adults in the community also resort to open defecation at the waste transfer station, despite the presence of a public toilet facility in the area. This situation has raised concerns among residents who fear a possible resurgence of cholera. A cholera outbreak that struck the community 2 years ago affected many residents and resulted in several deaths.
2 cedi and answer 1 cedi 50 pesos on cedi or the 1 cedi 50 pesos or the compound. Be be cocoa, serious no one because of 1 cedi we die. Paul and the only way in Obejai. Babana, I been pot or in the toilet, the walk up and can't come at the phone. Well, yet if you out school. Mofabani Yahan or toilet or Methodist.
What was originally designated as a waste transfer station has now become a permanent dumping ground. Skip containers at the site have overflowed and reportedly remained uncollected by waste management company Zoom Lion for several months.
I'm from Mafakra for some waha, wafre, do Mafa Nina Wamba, Famanu no Bapeti.
The attendant in charge of supervising the facility says she has not been paid for months, but continues to manage the site as best as she can to control the growing mess.
One Chameka went on a panko no wabano, no margin, no medatuta mantis, Chrissy, no mantis, no medabuja. One Chameka. On a Mizuna Fontinama, Mebatnaha. Now, one Chayaka. Yama Kufado Bano. Obotaka cry, Chibaya Finity won't try a cat. And your mamma so bay, and no so try a cat.
Nana Ayikwe, the Yankobia Hino of Gomwanyano, has expressed disappointment over what he describes as inaction by the Gomwa East District Assembly. He is particularly concerned that the waste transfer station is located just behind the community's palace and is calling for urgent intervention to address the sanitation crisis.
It's very, very worrying, and even the containers, I would say they are not enough. This stuff, the garbage which is still there, I mean, we're appealing to we've spoken with the Zoom Lion in the area. They've requested for something, and we believe the government will help us.
For the ChannelOne newsroom, I am Akwesi Ado, Nyanyano, Central Region.
All right, so that's it from Nyanyano Methodist School. They are dealing with issues of open defecation. But now we have Akwesi Ado on the line, and he brought this report for us. So let's talk to him, and he can give us a picture of what it is really. Hi, Akwesi.
Hello, Chris.
How are you? Good morning. You're welcome to the show. So, Akwesi, let's just get straight into it. Can you describe the school for us?
Right. So the Nyanyano Methodist Basic School is located in the suburban community, Kasapa, in the Nyanyano area. And this is one of the, I think, 2 basic schools in the entire community. And so it's very populated. It's from the kindergarten level to the junior high school level.
So if you say it's from the kindergarten to junior high school level, is it everyone that is practicing the open defecation? Meaning there are no toilets in the schools at all, or there has been a toilet but it's not enough for anybody, or the toilet is not, in good shape for the students to use? What is it?
There's no toilet facility in the school. So students and then teachers have to go outside the school to ease themselves during contact hours.
Right.
So those we see accessing the waste transfer station to ease themselves are those from the kindergarten level to the lower primary level. Because of course we do know that those in the junior high school level are adolescents, and because they attach so much seriousness to their privacy, they wouldn't want to be, easing themselves in the open space like the smaller ones we're seeing in our shot. Let me say that teachers also live outside the school to ease themselves when nature calls.
Right.
And this is a very serious and concerning matter in the sense that the Kasapa enclave is a highly developed area, and the means of transport for the people, the most reliable means of transport for the residents there is the motorbike or Okada. And we know how reckless these Okada guys can be. If they don't consider the fact that this is a school environment, they still speed. And the children have to cover a distance of about 5 meters to access the waste transfer station. And they use that same road that is used by these speeding motorbikes, and so it places them in danger. And considering the fact that teachers and then students have to leave the confines of the school to ease themselves also, we should understand that it would disrupt smooth academic activities. There are instances where pupils leave school just to go ease themselves outside, and they do not return to school anymore until school closes. And so it's also having a toll on the performance of the children in this particular school. Teachers feel uncomfortable because imagine having to leave the school just to access a toilet facility, which is also about 5 or 10 meters away from the school. It serves as a demotivating factor for the teachers.
Yeah, and how long has this been going on for, if I may ask?
For very long. We cannot mention any specific time frame, but this has always been the situation for this particular school we're talking about, Chris.
Right, and how far is the place that the children actually go to, do their business out there, especially the young ones that we saw on screen?
So, just as I mentioned earlier on, it's about 5 meters away from the school compound. And you can imagine a child that is so pressed, covering a distance of about 5 meters to ease him or herself. Anything at all can happen. And it's always not a pleasant, situation to behold during those unfortunate incidents.
All right, so has this ever been reported to authorities?
So I spoke to a teacher, but not on record, and he told me this particular issue has been discussed on a number of occasions during PTA meetings and even at the district education directorate, and they are only hoping that there would be any sort of intervention. But it looks as if there are no immediate plans to tackle the problem.
Okay.
And so they only live in with the hope that someday someone would come to their aid and assist them. But this is a school that was established by a faith-based organization, and then it was later absorbed by government. So that is the Methodist Church, for instance.
All right.
The Methodist Church, not to put them on the spot, but is situated on the same compound with the school. The Methodist Church has a washroom facility, but both teachers and students are not allowed to use that particular facility. And it's the reason these young children would have to leave school and then find somewhere to just do their business.
Wow. Anyway, thank you so much, Akwesi, for that. We might come back to you, but then again, we have other people to speak to. We have Nana Ayikwe, who will be speaking to, and Dr. Juliet Duffy, who will be speaking to. But then, Philip, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, Akwesi made mention of something that it's the Methodist Church that put up the structure. Agreed. Has been absolved by the government. Yeah. The Methodist Church has toilet facilities. I don't want to blame the Methodist Church. Does it mean that when the Methodist Church was putting up the facility, they didn't think of toilet facility? Yeah. Because nature's call is a natural thing.
Did they think, or did they ever have in mind that, okay, when we build this, the government will actually absorb it?
Well, regardless, if you are still putting up a structure, you should know that there will be occupants, and people who occupy this particular structure will receive nature's call. So if you would want to use the washroom or the latrine, it's a basic thing every institution must have. You go to fuel stations, there are latrines. You go to hotels, there are latrines. You come to various offices, there are latrines. At homes, there are supposed to be toilet facilities. So when we talk about school, a facility that is going to house hundreds of people without a toilet facility, I think is a very big problem and has to be checked. Because if this is not checked, we really do not know the reason why the church did not put up the toilet facility. We don't know why the government hasn't yet paid attention to the fact that the children need a toilet facility. But we've seen schools where benevolent individuals go and put up 18-seater toilet facilities and put up 6-seater toilet facilities and all that. If such a thing can be done for Nyanyano Methodist Primary and GHS Basic School, I think it's going to be a step in the right direction, because we are actually preventing ourselves from getting sickness or contracting diseases when you've told your children to go home or you've taken them to school, and in a bid for them to ease themselves, they come back home with disease or sickness because they did not get convenience places of convenience. Let me put it that way. They just have to go and use the bush. And what is actually going to be the mindset of these children when we've been talking about ending open defecation,
because they're in schools,
open defecation, when these children are practicing open defecation? So how are you going to?
They'll probably skip that objective.
You can't, because we've been talking about,
it's part of the curriculum.
We've been talking about we should end open defecation. There is a 2030 target that by 2030 at least every home,
those are the SDG goals.
Exactly, we should have toilet facilities in our homes and all that. So if
I really want to know where we are in Ghana when it comes to the SDG goals. I really want to know the percentages of everything.
I think the last time we checked with an authority, if I'm not mistaken, it has to be with Mr. Ahin, who is a technical expert when it comes to WASH, that is water and sanitation. He said that we've gone far when it comes to trying to solve the issue.
So how many percent left for us to become 100 before we get to 2030?
We could be at around 60 or 70. I'm yet to find out that details, but we still have a long way to go, because if we've been talking about households, recently we spoke about areas within Teshila, areas along the coast. We spoke to Ecozoid. Ecozoid said we have issues with open defecation. We had Gamma coordinator telling us that, oh, we are working around it to solve the problem. And now we are seeing it in schools. My problem is the mindset. It has to do with the cognition, like trying to change the mindset of the children. And if you are changing the mindset of the children, and a child has to move from the classroom and
to
go and squat at a place where it's not convenient, then I don't think that we are doing something right for ourselves. But I like the fact that the chiefs or the authorities are trying to find a way around this, trying to resolve the whole issue, speaking up. I like the fact that the Ankobia Hine for the Gomwa Nyanyano area has also spoken about this particular issue. That means he is concerned about the children there.
I think they are all concerned.
Yes, he's concerned about the students there and the pupils, because if it is starting from KG through to JHS3, it even comes with dignity, because you wouldn't want to see your colleague that you are in the same class with squatting on a dump site, defecating. It's not right.
So apart from the issue of open defecation, I agree with you that this is also an issue of dignity. I think everyone's supposed to be protected. And then secondly, what even came to my mind is the fact that some kids actually get their periods early. So in a case whereby a little girl is probably getting her first period in that position, how would that feel like? Or a child that probably wants to even change her pad, how would that feel like?
And you see, these children will also try and do it in the latrine. So if you don't have a latrine where they can go in there and change themselves, that is a problem. It's actually affecting. It should affect the entire Nyanyano community, because if you have your children going to school and they do not have a place of convenience, I could say asked one of the pupils there that is your mom going to, does she give you money to visit the public toilets when you come there? Even that particular conversation of the children visiting the public toilets would not even come into the picture in the first place, because the public toilet is for the public. This is for actually students or pupils. So they should find a way and get these things addressed and get it fixed once and for all.
And apart from the issue of the Methodist Church actually constructing this and not thinking of a toilet, or maybe it's an afterthought before the government came to
or maybe
absorb it.
They didn't fully absorb it.
Exactly. So I feel like now that the government have absorbed the school, they should have also built a toilet facility for the school, because now you have taken that responsibility of owning the school. So if you own the school, at least construct something small for those people there, because we are a country that is serious about education. And if we're serious about education, this is also part of making children stay in school.
Yes,
you want the children to stay in school, and it's a distraction. Like he said, when we're speaking to Akwesi, he said some students go out to, do their private business, that's, using the toilets, and they disappear and don't come back again.
Of course,
because I'm putting myself in the situation whereby if I go out now, say I'm a student with probably ADHD, I go out there now to, do my business, I might see something else that interests me. Oh yeah, off I go.
And you find that
and you are out somewhere else,
also using that
as an excuse to just off you go. Do you understand? So if you want the children to stay in school, if we are really serious about education, then these are some of the things that we should be talking about. These are some of the things that we should be fixing. We should not be teaching open defecation in our curriculums, but yet the students that you're teaching are actually practicing open defecation.
So we are trying to get through to the Ankobia Hine, that is Gomwa Nyanyano, so we can speak to him. He agreed to actually speak to us earlier. And also Dr. Juliet Dufie Otani, who is a Central Regional Director of Education. She also agreed to speak to us earlier. So we could find, or they could tell us exactly what they are doing to resolve this issue. Mind you, now it's under the watch of the government. So we wanted to speak to the Central Regional Director of Education so that she can tell us what exactly the government is doing about this. But we've put across a lot of calls, but to no avail. They aren't answering their calls. So that's how come we spoke to our correspondent Akwesi Ado. So we are still trying to work the lines to see how best we can put these authorities on and speak to them and find out from them what the plan is for the Nyanyano Methodist Basic or the Nyanyano Primary and JHS Basic School, which is within the Central Region, what really the plan is. What you are watching on the screen right now is the lack of access to the toilet facility at the Nyanyano Basic School, and this is not acceptable because we actually keep saying that these things should not be accepted in schools. The very big question is that if you're putting up a structure, even for yourself, you should think of a toilet facility, and you are putting up a structure for children, for adults, and people who would go there and learn, and they do not have toilet facilities.
All right.
It's very heartbreaking. So we're having some comments.
Yeah, we have some messages here. The first one is saying, good morning, Breakfast Daily. I'm Michelle from Dansuman. Hey, in 2026, open defecation. I mean, how? The school is a Methodist school. The church should step in. That's what Jesus would have done. The question is, what will Jesus do? Let's do what Jesus would do if we're called Christians. And hi, Chris and Philip. This is a good community story. This is unacceptable. Come on. We can do better as a country. My name is Cynthia from Kaswa. Thank you, Cynthia. And lastly, we have, this is very disheartening. The government should have made available basic amenities to these pupils after taking over. I'm pleading with the government to come to their aid, and also the Methodist Church should also help, even though they are not in this case of it anymore. Yeah, so that's what we have.
Yeah. So the Methodist Church, you've done your part. The government has absolved it, but if you can still push and get toilet facilities for the pupils and also the student, at least we get 6. It's going to serve the purpose. And the bigger problem is with the teachers, because the teachers do not even have places of convenience.
Yeah,
so if I come to school and I'm teaching you and I want to use the washroom, I do not have a place of convenience, according to the report that our correspondents give us. So everything we are saying is based on the reports that our correspondents give us. If we had gotten the side of government, we will know what is being done about it, so what exactly the issue is. But according to the reports that our correspondents give to us, you can't have me, a teacher in the school, and I'm teaching class 1 or I'm teaching class 6 or JHS 3, and I would have to use a washroom and leave the classroom and use a public toilet. No, it's not allowed. It's not. So
in a case whereby it's a female teacher, go back to the thing of period again, you know, menstruation. In the case whereby it's a female teacher that is going through her menstruation and probably has like a very heavy flow and needs to change about 3 to 4 times in a day, that means she's going to leave the class. Not just leave the class, she's going to leave the whole vicinity. Wow. She's going to leave the whole vicinity 4 to 5 times a day.
Chris, I think we've said enough of this.
Yeah.
The authorities, if you are watching, like we keep saying, we will tell your story and we will empower the change that is needed. If any benevolent institution or individual is going there to construct the toilet facility for that particular school, let us know. Definitely we will carry our cameras there and we will give you that coverage that you need, because it's something that is very pressing and has to be dealt with, so that these children can have places of convenience and teaching and learning can go on. Because mind you, we see we need a very convenient environment to let teaching and learning thrive. Else we failed as a country.
Right,
They failed.
right. Anyway, this was a good discussion, and thank you so much for sending in your messages.